Kofi Kingston is going to WrestleMania. What is up, guys? Raymaster Flex here, and I just finished watching SmackDown Live. I was kind of late with watching it tonight, but I seen that the New Day basically was put into a situation where they had to face about 3 to 4 teams in order to get Kofi to. Xavier wasn't big; he was faced 3 to 4 teams in order to get Kobe to actually wrestle Daniel Bryan for the WWE Championship at WrestleMania. And they managed to win every match. I mean, absolutely amazing with how they did it. By the time I turned it on, they were facing the Bar, which was towards the ending, so I didn't get to see the other 3 teams that they faced prior to that, but I could assume who those teams were at SmackDown. Doesn't really have a lot of teams that they, use on a daily week basis. And it was just I really felt good. I really feel good for Kobe, and I hope that he actually wins the belt at WrestleMania. I hope he gets his moment. I mean, I think this storyline was well put together. A lot of people, because of the fact that Daniel was in this storyline, he's calling Kobe a B-plus player because this is the same thing they were calling Daniel about 5 years ago. Uh, a lot of people like to compare it because Daniel's now the guy who's on Kobe while he's champion, when this was like the same thing with Daniel dealing with the authority and stuff like that when he was, fighting to, be in the main event of WrestleMania, even though Kobe's not going to be in the main event of WrestleMania, but he was fighting to be in the main event of WrestleMania and fight for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. And, I see that in a lot of ways, but I would say that this one here is slightly different. Like, yeah, he's playing as the ultimate underdog, yes. But, with this whole Kobe thing, though, I just think this one kind of raised in his own way. Like, I wouldn't say it's fully like how Daniel Bryan's situation was, even though people are saying it because Daniel Bryan at this point is the guy who's calling him the B-plus player. But I wouldn't say it's exactly like that, though. Because if you look at how that was with Daniel Bryan, Daniel had already been champion prior to that. He had already won the WWE Championship at SummerSlam, and the whole authority stuff started. And before that, he had already won the World Heavyweight Championship way back 2 years prior to that when he cashed in on the Big Show. When he won the Money in the Bank in 2011, he cashed in on the Big Show, won the World Heavyweight Championship. That was the first title he held. Now, he didn't hold it for a long time because he, dropped the belt to Sheamus at WrestleMania in 18 seconds. But the point I'm trying to make is that he had already been champion. In this Kobe situation, Kobe has never been WWE champion. He's been in the company for 11 years. He's won the IC title 4 times, United States title 3 times, the tag team titles multiple times. He's had incredible performances in Royal Rumble matches and Battle Royals where he's managed to find some creative way to keep himself from being eliminated. He's done everything of that field, but the one thing he has not done to make him a Grand Slam champion is win the WWE Championship, and that is something huge. I really am loving the way that they put this whole thing together. I mean, they threw a curveball at us last week when they had Kobe go through a whole gauntlet match where he had to face Samoa Joe, where he had to face Randy Orton, where he had to face he had to face Samoa Joe, he had to face Randy Orton, he had to face Sheamus and Cesaro in 2 single matches, which was like the first 2 guys. It was Sheamus and Cesaro. First he beat Sheamus, then he beat Cesaro, then he beat Joe, then he beat Randy, and then he had to go through Daniel after beating all those guys. And that's when Vince came out, after beating all those guys, said, you're going to WrestleMania if you could just beat one other guy. And then Daniel comes out, and then boom, he loses his moment. In my opinion, And you don't have to agree with me, this guys. I think this is one of the best storylines, and I'm not saying like above all, but the way they put this together, this is truly one of my favorite storylines going into WrestleMania. I mean, you have the Triple H and Batista thing going wrong. You know, you have the women that are headline WrestleMania, which I'm happy for, Ronda, Becky, and Charlotte, but that kind of went downhill. Um, you have all these other things that are official, but this is one of my personal favorites because of how they put this together. Like, this was just absolutely amazing how they put this together. It was really amazing. Kofi Kingston. I just hope that this all leads to him actually winning the WWE Championship at WrestleMania. I just hope that's what it does. And I mean, some people are saying that he might win it, and then he might lose the belt in like a couple of like the next night on SmackDown Live or something like that. Might get his WrestleMania moment, then lose the belt like how they did with Zack Ryder. I hope not. Um, I know people don't like to take him seriously because of the whole New Day stuff he's been doing for a while, but I mean, lately, since they've gone on with this, you've seen the New Day. It is kind of still that they still throw the pancakes and stuff like that, but you've actually seen that they've put a little bit more seriousness into this, and I like the realism that they put into the storyline too. One thing people uh, when you look at the Daniel storyline, you look at this one, they're very different actually because with this one they tried to like make it a little bit more realism because they tried to have it where Biggie and Xavier were going to quit after Kobe got screwed out of a gauntlet match, and you had them talking as if they were going to leave instead they have other things to do besides WWE. Xavier used the example of him being a gamer, him loving to play games. And they really made you believe, and we knew it was all scripted, but they really made you believe that they were like going hard with this. So, this one here, and then the fact of the whole SmackDown locker room pulling for Kofi Kingston, all the baby faces and stuff like that. I think this was the most well put together storyline. And all started as a replacement for Mustafa Ali. And not to knock on Mustafa Ali because I think he's an incredible athlete, but I just don't think Mustafa Ali has the fan base yet or the popularity level to where he could have been in the same situation. I think it works better for Kobe because Kobe has been in the company longer. He's had a lot more success. And at this point in his career, this is like the most deserving he is at this point. Mustafa is still kind of new. And I don't think they would should immediately just push him to the moon. I think Mustafa eventually will get his moment. He eventually probably will win the WWE Championship. I don't know. I think he's a very talented and intelligent man. I think that he actually stole the show at Fastlane in their triple threat match, even though the fans were cheering for Kobe the whole time because Kobe got screwed and ended up facing the bar because they made us think he was going to be. And I was stupid. I would admit it. I was sitting with my friend watching Fastlane, and I was like, wait a minute. I kind of knew that Kobe wasn't going to be in the match because I'm like, what? I was like, why would the WWE Championship match start this early? So when I saw Kobe go out and they like announced as a fatal four way, and then the announcer came out, he was like, the WWE Championship match will come on later. This is a handicap match. When he faced the bar, I was like, this makes sense. Because that's a classic Vince move. Why would he just throw him in a WWE Championship match in the middle of the show like that? Normally, the WWE Championship is never that early. The only time the WWE Championship was early on the show in recent years, I can remember at least in the last 2 to 3 years, was at No Mercy because at the time, I think there was like a um, debate or something going on at that time, so they wanted to have the WWE Championship match early. It was like the first match on the card. That's when AJ Styles was champion. It was at No Mercy 2016. But prior to since then, I mean, WWE Championship match never starts that early in the card. So I knew something was strange about that. And then Kobe gets put in a handicap match against the bar. So I think from the time of Kobe being literally just a replacement And we can admit that people can admit that before all this started, no one really thought much of Kobe other than just the typical things he was doing for the New Day. But I personally did not hop on the Kobe wagon as soon as he did the gauntlet match. I had always been a Kobe fan. I've always believed that Kobe, should one day be the WWE champion. But with him being with the New Day as long as he has, and with the things he's done with the New Day as long as he has, it makes people kind of feel like, with someone like this, you wouldn't take him seriously. But, I think Kobe I always thought Kobe, has really stepped up his game. I've always thought Kobe was incredible. I always thought Kobe 2009 would have been the best year for him to get that push. Of course, Randy Orton stopped that, but Kobe, to me, I think this is long overdue. I hope he wins. I hope this doesn't become like what they did with Booker T around WrestleMania 19, where he was supposed to win the World Heavyweight Championship and then he lost to Triple H. And then there's been many sources that said he was supposed to win that match, and then he just lost it. And I hope it's not something with Kobe. They do all this hype about this Kobe mania, and then he just loses at WrestleMania. It would make absolutely no sense. I mean, Daniel, I would like to think he asked for this heel turn. He's doing a fantastic job with this heel turn. Almost every promo Daniel Bryan cuts is on point. So I would like to think that, Daniel Bryan would kind of be behind the Kobe bandwagon somewhere secretly, behind the character that he's portraying. And he's probably pulling in for Kobe to win this match as well. I could, see this being the case. I mean, Kobe, from the gauntlet match till now, and like I said, he was always great. But the replacement of Mustafa Ali getting hurt was just a blessing in disguise for Kobe. Kobe probably would have never been in the position he's in if it weren't for that injury that Mustafa was going for. But like I said, I personally think it's great for Kobe because I don't think Mustafa would have done as great. And again, he doesn't have the fan base, in my opinion, to have gone as big as Kobe does. Kobe's been in the business for so long, and he's done so much for the business that you just want Kobe to get his moment. Mustafa's a great athlete, but Mustafa hasn't been in the business as long. And so, he doesn't have that huge fan base to where, all the crowd is going to be like screaming for Mustafa to damn, it would have been nice to see them two face each other at the Royal Rumble. I would have much rather seen Daniel versus Mustafa Ali at the Royal Rumble than see Daniel versus AJ Styles for like the 300th time. I mean, at that point, when they faced each other at the Royal Rumble, that was like at least the third or fourth time they faced each other. I would have much rather seen that than him versus AJ Styles. But as far as WrestleMania is concerned, I think this is definitely Kobe. Kobe is the only man right now that I see making sense. And, I just think that for Kobe to be in this predicament and have his New Day members on his side, and, there's been rumors that the New Day, that Xavier Big E might turn heel on Kobe or something like that. Maybe if Kobe wins the title at WrestleMania, maybe they might turn heel on him like the next night on SmackDown Live and like celebrate with him and just basically turn on him after that. Maybe something strange like that might happen. But I wouldn't really see a purpose. I mean, they could do something where maybe Big E and Xavier could chase after the SmackDown Tag Team titles. And, you could have all three of them as champion. I think that would be kind of nice. I mean, I've also seen people say that it could be a thing where all of them claim to be WWE champion, which that'd be kind of strange because you never really seen three guys claim to be WWE champion, like the main champion, and like try to defend it all at different times. But because the New Day have done it with the tag team titles, they might break a rule where they do like a Freebird rule for the WWE Championship, where all three of them claim to be WWE champion and just all defend the title, maybe something crazy like that. But I really like how they've done this, how they pulled this together. Like I said, from the gauntlet he was originally in, where he got eliminated. The first gauntlet he was in, where that gauntlet match, Daniel Bryan was actually the first person he beat. And then he beat Jeff Hardy. Then he beat Samoa Joe. Then he lost to AJ Styles, and then AJ Styles lost to Randy Orton. And that was right. And that was right before the Elimination Chamber. Once Styles got replaced with Kobe, and then from there, you know, then after in the Elimination Chamber, he had an incredible performance. He eliminated Randy Orton, which really must have felt good. And it came down to him and Daniel. And you kind of knew that once he jumped from the top of the pod, that was it. But he did an excellent job in that match. In the Elimination Chamber, the crowd was screaming wild for him doing that. Um, then he pinned Kobe. Then he pinned Daniel again in the tag team match, um, which is where he was announced to face Daniel. After that, Shane announced he was going to face Daniel at WrestleMania, but then that's when he had the contract signed the next SmackDown, and then he got screwed. As Vet said, Kevin Owens, I found someone bigger and better than you, Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens teams up with him that night. Kevin Owens pins Daniel Bryan when he teamed up with him against Eric and Daniel. Kevin Owens gets a chance to face Daniel. Mustafa added into the match. Daniel retains the belt. And we just get from here where, he screwed Kobe, Fastlane, put him in a handicap match, screwed him again after he was in a gauntlet match, made him face Daniel after going through hell. But I just think, and then maybe this could just be me, but I just think that this storyline was well put together. I think that it was really well thought out. I think it was well put together. Absolutely incredible. I really enjoyed this storyline, and I hope that Kobe wins. I hope that this is worth something. I hope Kobe actually gets the moment that he deserves. I do. I hope Kobe gets the moment he deserves because Kofi Kingston definitely deserves to win the WWE Championship at least once if he never wins it again. If this is the only time Kobe wins it, I would still be fine with it. I mean, I would be perfectly fine even if this is the only time Kofi Kingston wins the WWE Championship. Like, seriously, I would just still be fine with it. Kofi Kingston is a hell of a talent. And, I think all three of the New Day members are amazing guys, amazing athletes, I mean to say. And this is definitely Kobe's time. Kobe Mania is running wild. And I would love to see him take the belt from Daniel Bryan. I think there's going to be quite a few title changes at WrestleMania. It might be more title changes than it actually is if people retain their belts. I mean, I think majority of the night we're going to see title changes, just like how just like how WrestleMania 33 was in 2017, where it was like a lot of title changes. And WrestleMania last year, it wasn't so many title. It actually wasn't a lot of title changes last year. It was more people who retained their title, like Charlotte retained her belt, AJ retains his belt, Brock retained his belt. It was more of people retaining their titles than actually losing them last year at WrestleMania. So it wasn't really a lot of title changes. The only title change we saw was Nia Jax. She won the Raw Women's Championship from Alexa Bliss. That was a title change. We saw the Raw Tag Team titles change, and we saw the SmackDown Tag Team titles change. But every title didn't change hand last year. It was more people who actually retained their titles. So, man, I think this year might be quite a few title changes. So I'm going to wrap it up right here. It's kind of late on SmackDown Live, doing college stuff and whatnot. So hopefully I can do a video. This is my first wrestling video in a while. Hopefully I can do one on WrestleMania, and my WrestleMania prediction before WrestleMania comes around. I definitely want to see if I can do a WrestleMania prediction. It's going to be 17 matches, so it'll be kind of hard to really go over everything. I might just kind of go fast on that video with some of the matches, but it's going to be a lot of matches on the card. So I'm going to wrap it up right here. So sign off, Raymaster Flex. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll talk to you guys another day. Peace.